Yasmin, thank you. A divided Congress, stocks at their lowest levels in 3 years, and a nation with an economic reputation that's heading south. The coming election year is expected to get heated as candidates tackle these issues and a host of others, including the end of 2 wars. Now, one of the major races is to fill the soon-to-be vacated seat of Senator Daniel Akaka. And joining us this morning is Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate, Ed Case. Good morning, Mr. Case, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Of course, we've been following the debt deal that just passed and now the market free fall. It's been up and down for days now. And a lot of people are blaming Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, for what's happening in our economy right now. Who do you think is to blame, and what would you do to solve the current crisis that we're in?
Well, everybody is to blame. I'm not going to pick sides on who's to blame. I mean, markets react to stability. They want confidence, they want stability, they want predictability, and they want leadership in government. And I think our Congress and our Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. has not been providing that. It's been a partisan battlefield. It has been a lack of consensus, compromise. Frankly, it's been kicking the can down the road. I served on the House Budget Committee when I was last in Congress, and those few of us who were focusing on the deteriorating budget said, we got to fix this right now. And people said, we don't want to face the music right now, and here we are. So we shouldn't be surprised. So that's the bad news. Mm-hmm. The good news is it's a choice to get out of it. It's not something that has to be. It's a question of facing the decisions very directly. It's a question of leadership, and it's a question really of a whole different way of going about things in Washington.
Congresswoman Mazie Hirono was on our air yesterday. She's also running for U.S. Senate. She said that she is frustrated, along with the American public, about the situation right now. And she said that she's working toward creating jobs and bettering our public education system. Why do you think that next year during the election that voters should not re-elect her when she really hasn't had any major missteps in Congress and she has the fundraising advantage right now?
The question is, can we do better? I mean, none of that really matters. What really matters is put us up side by side and ask this question, who's got the skills, who's got the background, who's got the experience to actually get us out of this hole? And who's got the commitment to a bipartisan, nonpartisan, consensus-based, directed, problem-solving approach in Congress? That's going to be the sum total of our campaign against each other when it goes into the election next year.
Hirono's campaign has accused you of misleading the public in terms of fundraising. Right now, it shows from the Senate numbers that she has, the campaign numbers, that she has the fundraising advantage, both over you and Colleen Hanabusa, who has not declared anything yet. What do you have to say about that? Well,
she's clearly raising more money than I am right now, but I'm very comfortable with where our campaign is. I'm going out there to actually talk to people. I don't think that money is going to buy this election. I think people want change. I think people want the ability to get problems solved. We're going to go out there, this month, right across the state, and open our campaign in all islands. And I feel very comfortable with our brand of politics, which is actually to meet people and talk story with them and ask for their vote personally.
Some national Democrats were upset that you released those private poll numbers, and it was widely covered in the media, and it basically showed that in a hypothetical matchup between either you or Lingle or Hirono or former Governor Linda Lingle, it would show that Mazie Hirono would be trailing Lingle. And what do you say about that, and that you ruffled feathers of some in the Democratic Party?
Well, it's pretty straightforward. I obtained a poll. It was from a very reputable firm who did a very good job in the poll. The poll numbers were favorable to us. It showed us prevailing over both Mazie in the primary and Lingle in the general, and it showed Mazie trailing Lingle in the general. And I think some people didn't like the idea that perhaps a Republican could beat a Democrat in Hawaii. Didn't want to kind of talk about that. Of course, that's no secret to us. After all, Lingle did beat Hirono for the governorship 10 years ago, and of course did prevail in her re-election against a Democrat. So sometimes, if you don't like the message, you try to kill the messenger, and I think that's what a little bit of this was all about.
But don't you think you need to be in good graces with members of your own party? I know that you're running against a Democrat in the primary, but don't you think you need to be in good graces with members of your own party to get their support for a win?
Well, I think I am in good graces. I mean, I think that they reacted, some people in Washington reacted to the idea that Lingle could beat Hirono. They didn't want to talk about that. Mm-hmm. It's not a secret. I think, though, that what is far more important is what the voters of Hawaii think about my candidacy and about my capabilities as their next U.S. Senator. So, I can sit here and run my campaign and, look over my shoulder every time, the door squeaks a little bit about what Washington wants, but that's really not my focus. My focus is on Hawaii, about what the voters here want, and about whether I can convince them that I can do this job, and I know I can. So it's a question of going out there and asking for them here in Hawaii. They're going to make the decision, not the folks in Washington.
Well, Ed Case, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck this weekend with your campaign headquarter opening. And thank you again. And don't forget, if you'd like to watch this interview again with Ed Case, you can head over to the morning section of our website, kitv.com. We'll be right back. It is 6:48.